Hi friends, welcome back. This is a Let's Bake a Freshie one-on-one. So let's get started. So this is a square mold. I'm filling it with our scented aroma beads. I'm using Georgia Peach for the square. Georgia Peach is a fragrance oil that we carry at Stay Fresh with Peanut. If you can use an 8-to-1 ratio and it will cure within 1 day. Using an 8-to-2 ratio, it will cure within 4 to 5 days. So I'm not adding any pigment in the square mold so you can see a difference side by side. Now the pineapple mold is also from ABC Freshie Molds. I am using scented Fruit Loops. Scented Fruit Loops, we use an 8-to-2 ratio to scent Fruit Loops. I'm doing the same thing. I'm filling the mold 3/4 of the way full, not all the way to the top. And then I'm going to add the beads into a bag or a container. And now here I'm just using a regular plastic bag. And I'm going to add the beads back into the bag. And then I'm going to add some mica. Now purposely I'm adding mica even though I want a bright yellow. Because I just want to show you by just adding a little bit is very important. Adding too much mica, it can cause the beads to underbake or not bake properly. So here I am adding some mica, and as you can tell, it's a nice, pretty pastel yellow, but I want more vibrancy. So I'm going to stop adding mica. I'm not going to add any more. And I'm going to use SpongeBob, which is a neon yellow pigment. It's not mica, it's pigment. And it's very important just to add a little bit at a time. Again, adding too much can cause the beads to underbake or not bake properly. So I'm going to give it a good shake. And how you know, number one question we get asked all the time, how do you know how much pigment or mica? So again, it's just a little bit at a time. If your bag looks too foggy, that's an indicator for me that I've added too much, and how the only way I can correct that is by adding more beads. So now that I am done, you can see my bag here. It looks still, I can still clear, I can still see through the bag. And I have that nice vibrant yellow that I want. So no more pigment. I'm going to put it up. Now I'm going to add those beads back into my mold, fill it all the way 3/4 of a way full. And then I'm going to even it, spread it evenly throughout the mold. Make sure I get in those crevices of the spikes where the pineapple part is, and just level it out as even as I possibly can. That's very important during the baking process, to level your beads out. Now the next part is very important. I'm going to bake this Freshie at 345 to 15 to 16 minutes. That is what works, is a sweet spot for me. So you're going to have to test and make notes until you find that perfect temp that's going to work for your Freshie. So this is 345 degrees Fahrenheit, 16 minutes. I baked both molds at the same time. And this is directly out of the oven. Now, while it's still warm, it's best if you don't like the spikes on the side, you can use the sides of the molds to press it down. Now, on the square mold, I'm only going to press the sides down, and then I'm going to gently just press a little bit in the middle, because I want to show you the difference between pressing down the beads and not pressing. It is totally a preference and up to you. Some people like to press down on their beads just so it's nice and flat. On the pineapple, you see here, I'm doing the same thing. You can take a wet paper cloth. You don't have to use this spatula. I'd like to use the spatula to get into those corners here. And I'm just going to speed this along, and I'm just pressing down, and so that everything's nice and even and flat and smooth. This pineapple has details on the other side, so that is another reason for me pressing down, because I want to get some really nice details when it comes to decorating. So here it is. That is how your beads should look when they're not overbaked and you added just enough, not adding too much mica or too much pigment. It came out perfect. I love it. Now here's the other mold that I make, and it has no pigment. It's just translucent. Like I said, you can pat it down. I'm just patting it down just a little bit. And then I'm going to allow it to completely cool down for 15 minutes before I demold it. Very important not to take it out. Let your mold completely cool down. So here we are, 15 minutes later. I come back, and I'm going to take out my my Freshie out of the mold. It's still warm, so I'm just removing it gently, and there you go. It came out wonderful, perfect. The details look amazing. And I know when I decorate it, I'm gonna get all the details just to pop out. And you can see here on the sides how the beads, how they melted. This is how your sides should look when baked properly. So I'm just gonna show you the beads. Sometimes it might, if you over bake it, you might see the beads a little bit too melted. It's just going to take practice until you get that sweet spot and you get your temp times down just right. Using quality aroma beads along with quality fragrance oils are very important. And also good quality pigment or mica, that's also very important as well. Now this has no pigment. But I just want to show you here the sides of the mold. They baked evenly because I leveled the beads and it came out perfect. So I hope this helps you and it gives you information on how to bake a Freshie. Now every mold maker is different. This is from ABC Freshie Molds. I love her molds. I've always used them, never had any issues. She makes great quality molds. Every mold maker, you know, you might have to adjust your baking times depending on the mold maker itself. So just make some great notes and practice, and don't give up. You will get it down. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, email support@stayfreshwithpeanut.com. And thank you, and we will see you next time. Don't forget, #LiveLikePeanut.